This travel day did not go as planned. Do they ever? Because of the government shutdown, which caused the reduction of flights and lots of flights being delayed and canceled, I had to change my plans. Love that for me. Did I mention that there was also a snowstorm? Basically, the snowstorm was going to hit when I would be leaving for the airport. And when I changed my flight on Friday, it was not the snow that made me do that. However, I'm so thankful that I did, because had I not moved my flight from Tuesday morning to Monday night, I would have had to drive in this basically blizzard very early Tuesday before plows and stuff were out. So I'm very thankful that I didn't. But still, part of my drive to the airport was in snow. It got bad in just one part of my trip where it was sticking to the roadways because it was coming down so heavy. But it's okay. I got to see a beautiful sunset after the snow kind of broke and I got kind of south enough away from the Great Lakes. The sunset was so pretty, so I'm pretty pumped about that. I love a good sunset. Now, as far as my flight, during the day, because I worked all day Monday like I normally would, my flight kept getting pushed later, like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, up until it was going to be 2 hours delayed. Now, I know better that even if your flight says it's delayed, you are still supposed to arrive to the airport at your normal time, because they will do everything in their power to get it back to on time. By the time I arrived to the airport, my flight was actually back to being on time. Now, the other great thing is that my flight was basically empty. I believe we had 46 or 64 passengers, I can't remember. And I was in row 9 with the entire row to myself. Like literally nobody was in the row in like the seats next to me or across from me. It was actually great. So that was a score, having the entire row to myself. Great, love that for me. It's the first time I was flying Southwest in a really long time. And these flights obviously were before they have switched to assigned seating. Still, it was a great flight. And we landed right on time, like we were supposed to. And I had to go get my checked bag, which if you watch my travel announcement video, I hate checking a bag, but I definitely needed to for this trip. There was no way to get around that. I still, even though I moved my flight from Tuesday morning to Monday night, I still was able to use Mears Connect because me and my podcast co-host chose to stay at the Drury Plaza Hotel near Disney Springs, and you can still use Mears to that hotel. As far as Mears Connect goes, I hadn't used it in a while. That's the whole reason I wanted to, because I have clients that like to use it, and I just wanted to, refresh myself on the process. I grabbed my bags, headed down into Terminal B, the very bottom ground floor, walked the entire way down to Mears Connect. Now, I want to tell you that if you're planning a trip and you are thinking about using Mears Connect, this is not going to be your fastest option. This is going to be your cheapest option, depending on your travel party. If you have more than 5 or 6 people, it may not be the cheapest option anymore, but it is for sure not the fastest. In fact, the last time I used it, it was way quicker for me. This time, I sat on the bus for a good 35 to 40 minutes before the bus even left the airport, and there weren't that many people on board. Now, here's the thing I knew going into this. Being where I was staying, the Drury Plaza Hotel, I knew I was either going to be the first stop or the last stop just because of where it's located. Thankfully, as he's reading off the stops, I was first because I landed at about 10:45, got to Mears a little after 11, I think. Sat there for 35, 40 minutes, then the bus ride. I didn't get to the Drury until almost 1 a.m. And I was so tired. I worked all day like a normal day and took my daughter to dance and all those things before I left. So I was very, very tired. So the next morning we got up from the Drury. This was just a one-night stay. Pretty much all of the nights, if you saw my trip announcement video, was one-night stays. And we got up, had our morning mimosas, packed up, and then headed off to the Wilderness Lodge. This was my dream resort stay. This was a bucket list stay, and I was super excited. Of course, we arrived well before our room was ready, so we dropped our bags at Bell Services. If you didn't know, this is something Disney is happy to do on check-in and check-out day, to hold your bags, whether you're waiting for your room to be ready or waiting to fly out that evening. I'm going to have a full room tour and some resort highlights in another video, so stay tuned for that. The original plan for our Tuesday was to get there. I would arrive before she would, and I would drop my bags at Wilderness Lodge just like we had, and then I would head over to Animal Kingdom to wait for her to arrive. But because we were already there on Tuesday morning, we were able to hit Animal Kingdom earlier than we had anticipated. The other thing that kind of had thrown us for a loop was the weather in Florida. The real feel on Tuesday morning was 27 degrees. So I brought the cold with me from Pennsylvania. And it was chilly. I will tell you, once we got to Animal Kingdom, that in the summer and in the heat, Animal Kingdom is the hottest park, but in the cold, it is the coldest park. The trees and plants just hold on to that really chilly weather. But we stuck to our plan. We rode Flight of Passage, which was my co-host Chrissy's first time ever riding it, did the Wilderness Express train, did the animation experience up at the conservation station, which is always so fun to do, and my artwork never turns out great. We just had a quick little morning in Animal Kingdom and moved on to our next parks. I will have more from my time at Disney in other videos, but for now, this wraps up my travel day, complete with a government shutdown, a snowstorm, a long Mirrors Connect connection, and the freezing all day on our first park day. This is just always a great reminder for everyone who is traveling, no matter where you are going, to be patient and to pack those patient pants, be flexible and willing to kind of pivot plans where necessary. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Until next time, bye. I think I got it.